Okay, we are rolling on making vinaigrette. Uh-oh, vinaigrette? What does that mean? It means a lot of stuff to a lot of people, depending on who you're talking to and what the context is that this word is used in. Basically, vinaigrette means vinegar and oil, a vinaigrette. Now, if someone were to make a lemon juice and olive oil, a vinaigrette, it kind of really wouldn't be a vinaigrette because there's no vinegar in it. But they call it vinaigrettes anyway if there's no vinegar in them. But 90% of them have vinegar in them. Although I do love just olive oil and lemon juice as a, quote, vinaigrette, okay? The first burning question that always comes to mind, and every once in a while I hear a cook put his foot in his mouth by telling someone what the percentage proportions are of oil to vinegar in a vinaigrette. That suggests, number one, that they're all the same. It suggests that they're not emulsified, which most of them aren't, but we're going to talk about that too here in a minute. And it suggests that they're all being served on the same kind of food that will require the same amount of vinegar in the vinaigrette. And it suggests that the same kind of vinegar and oil is constantly being used. And it also suggests that there isn't any other substantial seasonings in the vinaigrette to suggest that there's a specific amount of vinegar and a specific amount of oil. Okay? First, let me touch on making a vinaigrette, quote, a la minute, or at the last minute, as you might translate that from French. And to translate it even further, to suggest that you make it in the bowl with the salad. It's assuming this is going on a salad, okay? So let's assume for a minute that it's going on a salad, all right? How would you make a vinaigrette in the bowl and not separate? You would be sure that the lettuce was dry because oil and water do not mix. And you cannot coat lettuce with oil if it's wet because the oil will run off of the lettuce, okay? So you want to make sure your lettuces are dry. And then in the salad class, by the way, in this library, I have extensive coverage of different kinds of dressings and salads, which you're really going to like. It's probably one of my favorite DVDs in this course. That and a couple of ones like the pasta and a couple of dessert ones and I guess the Mexican one, you know. But anyway, forget what I like, okay? The important thing here is what you like, and that's based on what you're learning and if you're enjoying any of this, which I hope you are. Where was I? Where was I, Richard?
You were talking about the vinegar and oil combination.
All right, so you're making a salad. Thank you.
In the bowl.
Thank you. See, if this was live TV, you couldn't do what I just did. But we're comfortable enough with you so that we think you're comfortable with us. And so we'll talk to our cameraman and producer while we're shooting. All right, so, I mean, Johnny Carson did it for years, but then again, I'm not Johnny Carson. Anyway, let me get back to reality here. So you put the oil on the dry lettuce, and you toss the lettuce in the oil until the lettuce is all coated with the oil. Now, if you're going to put any herbs on your salad, now is the time to do it so it'll stick to all the oiled lettuces. Then you sprinkle a small amount of vinegar on and toss it up on it. Then it's served immediately before the vinegar runs off. If you let the salad sit with the tossed vinegar on it for 8, 9, 10 minutes in a bowl, the vinegar will run off the lettuce if you properly coated the lettuce to begin with. So the salad gets served right away. It's not something that you toss and hold and then serve. Not to suggest that that would be the only reason you would do that once the dressing's on, because you don't want the lettuce to get soggy either, okay? So anyway, that's how you would, quote, make a vinaigrette in a bowl. Now you may put other stuff in there, garlic, shallots, whatever, you know, your fancy happens to be for your vinaigrette. But that's how you make it in a salad a la minute, if you will, all right? Now to make an herb vinaigrette, and there's multiple recipes for doing this, by the way. This particular formula today in this video, what I'm really trying to do is cover all kinds of approaches to this, and I'm going to give you this particular formula, which is a French Dijon mustard vinaigrette, okay? Now, just for the record, Dijon is not a brand name. That's the name of a town and an area where this mustard became famous from, okay? Now, the kind of oil to begin with. You can use all kinds of oil to make vinaigrette. There's no rule about the kind of oil. You can use vegetable oil, salad oil, anything except like liquid frying type oil, okay? Not to suggest that things like grapeseed oil or almond oil or hazelnut oil, which you certainly can use, but some of these other avocado oil and so on, some of these bizarre or off the mainstream track oils, if you will, they're not really bizarre. I guess it's all relative to your use and your geography, but you can use any of them you want. But hazelnut is particularly good, by the way, and walnut oil is nice. Sometimes if an oil is sharp, like walnut or hazelnut, and you want to get that flavor in, but the oil straight by itself is just too strong, but you want some taste from the walnut or the hazelnut oil, you mix it with some salad oil or some olive oil. Generally speaking, in terms of olive oils, you go extra virgin for salads. Why is that? Because you use extra virgin. It has more flavor than virgin or those further on down the trough, if you will, okay? In terms of the pressing of the olives. It gets weaker and weaker and weaker, has less flavor and color. Extra virgin would be the way to go. I wouldn't even cut that. That's my standard for making vinaigrette. So we're going to take a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. Now, I'm going to show you how to make this. And you have a recipe, you know, in the DBT, in one of the PDFs. But I'm going to show you how to make it, and I'll ballpark the measurements for you, because you need to understand how to make it. So it doesn't matter what kind of oil or what kind of additives or what kind of vinegar you're using, you can make it successfully because of the way you went about it. So here's how you go about making the vinaigrette. And then you can decide the measurements yourself as you're going along. But the true measurement here that you have to evaluate, make a decision at, is the amount of vinegar or lemon. Vinegar most of the time, okay? We're going to treat the vinegar like salt in a sauce. We're going to put some in, we're going to mix it up and taste it. Put a little more in, mix it up and taste it, until we get the right amount of vinegar. We're not going to dump a whole bunch of vinegar into the oil, hoping, hey, that's just the right amount. That's the wrong approach to making it, okay? So we're going to put some olive oil in here. I'm going to make, I put about half a cup, 3/4 of a cup. And I have some Dijon mustard, and I'm going to put, I don't know, what's probably going to end up being a tablespoon and a half, maybe 2 tablespoons. Depends how mustardy you want it, okay? You can put whole grain mustard in here, but it won't be a smooth dressing. You'll have whole mustard seeds, you know, floating around inside the dressing, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to put a little bit of garlic. Got some fresh chopped garlic here. I'm going to put a little bit of pepper, fresh ground black pepper. I'm going to put a little bit of salt. I tend to use a lot of shallots in my vinaigrettes, and I'm not doing it today. It's not, first of all, it's not something that all of you have at home all the time. And it's not in every single supermarket, I'm sorry to say, but it's in about 95% of them. Now, there's a couple of ways that you can bring this together. The misinformation about what a vinaigrette is also includes they're all vinegar and oil that are not emulsified. You can have a vinaigrette that looks like a mayonnaise sauce also. And I'm going to talk to you about that in a minute when we finish this, okay?